Have you ever just looked up at the night sky and wondered, you know, how does this all end? It's a huge question, right? Well, today, that's exactly what we're tackling. We're going to dive into the ultimate fate of our universe, from its very first moments to its very, very last. So, yeah, what is the ultimate fate of the universe? I mean, it's a question that's as much about philosophy as it is about cosmology. Are all the stars and galaxies, and even us, gonna stick around forever in some way? Or is everything, and I mean everything, heading for some kind of final definitive end? Well, if you ask the scientists, the leading theory paints a pretty bleak picture. The idea is that this mysterious thing we call dark energy is causing the universe to expand faster and faster. And eventually, that's going to lead to a future that's just cold, dark, and empty. It's a really powerful thought, and honestly, it's kind of terrifying. All right, so let's dive into that leading theory first. It goes by a few different names. You might hear it called the Big Chill or the Big Freeze. The more scientific term for it, though, is heat death. Right now, this is the front runner, the most likely way our whole cosmic story is going to wrap up. Okay, so to really get this, we've got to talk about something called entropy. The easiest way to think about entropy is just as a measure of disorder. So like a clean, tidy room has low entropy. But you know how over time it just naturally gets messy? That's it moving to a state of higher entropy. Well, heat death is basically the entire universe reaching maximum messiness. It becomes so uniform, so cold, so spread out that literally nothing interesting can ever happen again. And the timeline for all this, I mean, it's just staggering. Right now, we're living in the era of stars. The universe is young, it's bright, it's full of energy. But fast forward trillions of years, and the very last stars will flicker and die. And after that, on a scale of time that's almost impossible to even imagine, matter itself might just dissolve. And then finally, even the black holes will evaporate away into, well, nothing. Let's just stop and think about this number for a second. 10 to the 34th power. That's a 1 with 34 zeros after it. That's the mind-boggling amount of time it might take for protons, the basic building blocks of you, me, and everything to just decay. This idea comes from something called grand unified theories, which are these big attempts by physicists to link up some of the fundamental forces of the universe. Now, these theories aren't proven yet, but if they're right, it means that not even solid matter gets to last forever. So is that really it? A one-way ticket to a cold, dark, empty void? Well, maybe not. Some physicists are looking into other possibilities. Possibilities that are a little more hopeful and suggest that the end might not actually be the end. And this is the question that really changes everything. What if the universe isn't on some straight line to oblivion? What if, instead, it's all part of an endless cycle of death and rebirth? See, it all comes down to that mysterious dark energy. If it keeps on pushing and pushing forever, then yeah, we get heat death. But what if it doesn't? What if it weakens, or maybe even flips and starts pulling? Well, then gravity could become the boss again, and it would start yanking everything back together in a massive reversal of the Big Bang, an event they call the Big Crunch. And a big crunch could lead to a truly cyclic universe. It expands out from a Big Bang, it collapses back in on itself, and then it bounces into a new Big Bang. You could almost think of it like the universe taking a giant breath in and then breathing out, over and over for eternity. Physicists are actually exploring some wild ideas about how this bounce could work, like theories involving colliding dimensions, or the idea that space itself is made of tiny, fundamental chunks. And then you get the real wild cards, the ideas that are way out there on the cutting edge of physics. There's this unsettling idea called false vacuum decay. It basically suggests that our universe is only kinda sorta stable, and at any moment, a bubble of a new, more stable universe could just appear and expand at the speed of light, literally rewriting the laws of physics as it goes. Whoa. Or maybe the real answer is hiding in a complete theory of quantum gravity, which, let's be honest, we just don't have yet. These are the big unknowns, where our cosmic story could take a turn nobody sees coming. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This is all super interesting, but these are trillions and googles of years we're talking about. Why on earth should any of this matter to me right now? And that is the perfect question, because how the universe ends actually has huge implications for how we find meaning in our own lives. Think about it. If heat death is the endgame, it kind of implies that in the grand cosmic scheme of things, nothing we do will last. That can feel empty. But it also gives us this incredible sense of urgency, right? It makes the meaning and the legacy we build in our short time here that much more important. But if the universe is cyclic, well, that raises a whole different set of questions. Are we all just destined to repeat our lives over and over in some way? And that really gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? This quote just nails the central conflict. Even if we're facing this ultimate cosmic oblivion, the meaning we create for ourselves, for our loved ones, for our world, what you could call our local meaning, that stuff is still incredibly powerful. It's still real. When you start thinking about the end of everything, it forces you to ask these huge, ultimate questions. Is all of life, everything that's ever lived, just a brief, beautiful rebellion against that inevitable slide into disorder? Is entropy the one true ruler of reality? And hey, if we know the lights are eventually going to go out for good, do we have some kind of duty to learn as much as we possibly can, as fast as we can before it's all over? So I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. To live a meaningful life, do our achievements need to last forever on a cosmic scale? Or is the very fact that our time is short what makes our choices, our relationships, and the legacy we build so unbelievably important? Maybe the final answer isn't out there in the cosmos, but in what we choose to do with the precious little time we have.